All right. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday and welcome to another edition of A King's Court Review. I am your host for today's conversation, Crystal XO, and hopefully you guys are tuned in. I took Labor Day off. To kind of get some things ready for this upcoming week, but I'm hoping that all my people that enjoy these King's Court reviews have tapped in. While you're tapping in, before you get comfortable, go ahead and like and subscribe. The conversation, as you guys know, we're about to get into. Hey, Haitian Empress, look at you here all early and whatnot. Oh my gosh, came back from vacation. Girl, I don't even know if you should watch this as much as I enjoy having you here, because this is a really good episode. I definitely think that we're going to have a good conversation, but you really have to see it in order to understand what we're talking about. Tonight's episode, of course, the focal point of tonight's episode is going to be right here. That's not good. Thaddeus, or as some people have been calling him, the chocolate Thanos, and Catherine. Now, you guys know, before I get into, I'm going to talk about some of the other things that happened, but you guys know from the beginning, I have been saying that Catherine should not have been on this show, because I don't believe that anybody really over 45 should be on a reality show, a dating reality show. I just think it's a different demographic, unless you are talking about men that are a lot older and prefer to date older women. I just think it's too much of a conflict, because I don't believe it. So I think that what happened in this situation is going to prove me right. But we're going to slow roll it, and we're going to get there. Thank you. Thank you. Her. See, I would rather you leave than stay here and hear this conversation. Precious says, yay, I finally caught the live stream. Hey, Ladybug, thank you so much for joining. Tonight's conversation is going to be good, but I really, really hope that most of the people watching have been watching King's Court, because we're going to talk about a few things. Let's go ahead and just get the easy stuff out of the way, shall we? Let's get the easy stuff out of the way. Let's talk about our boy Carlos. Carlos, now in this picture and in the last episode, Carlos has utilized the beiging, or the darkening product, on his beard. At first it wasn't like that, but this last episode it was suspiciously dark. And I just want to say to any women that have men at home, or any men who may be watching but don't want to admit or acknowledge they watch, we don't need the beiging, the darkening agent in the beard. Actually, it looks fine without it. It looks really weird. Like, hair doesn't ever look that dark. See how it added so much? It really adds age. You know, the dark hair, it's not good, Carlos. And you look fine without it. I don't like it. But hey, it doesn't even matter what I like, because in this episode, Carlos actually, again, I want to say Carlos actually made his choice with Jana. And I want to say that out of all the reality shows that we have watched together as a family here, as an XO family, this is the first one that I've seen real maturity on the behalf of a man. I am really a fan of King's Court, because we've been able to see men, just a lot more present. And a lot of the reality shows, the men are just kind of playing the game. They're not really invested. They're just kind of, going along with whatever the women want to do, so they can have as many women as possible at the end. They're not taking it seriously. But this was a great group. We do have the entertainment factor, which of course we know is right here. This is the entertainment factor of it all. We'll get into what exactly this is. But Carlos actually took it seriously. And for the first time, I feel like in reality history, we have seen a man actually ask a woman to be his girlfriend. He asked Janae to be his girlfriend before he was required. So we always hear these people say this excuse of, I just want to trust the process. I want to trust the process is usually another term for I want to enjoy everything that's in front of me so for as long as possible. I want to point out that Carlos had, I want to point out that the very first episode, Janae was introduced to Carlos. She had on a red dress. He said that his face looked like an emoji. His eyes were like heart emojis because of how she looked in the dress. I keep saying every week we gather here, and I keep saying that a man likes what a man likes what a man likes. You can't change him. You can't change his mind. You can't convince him. You can't try to compete for him. At the end of the day, they know what they want. And it's usually, in the words of Patty Stanger, the infamous millionaire matchmaker, the penis does the picking, meaning whatever he is attracted to is where he's going to go. Now, it's not enough for him to just be attracted, but it has to start there. And if his reaction to you is not the heart eyes, especially when we're talking about a reality television situation, I don't think there's much hope. Now, Crystal, are there situations where a man may not be super, super attracted to a woman initially? Sure. And it may work, sure, but not on television. If you have access, you work with someone, they get a chance to get to know your personality. They get a chance to see the beauty within, and that beauty within radiates without, certainly. But in those situations, I would still be concerned about what would happen when a woman that comes around that has the beauty that they like without. Are you saying that all men are superficial? No, I'm not. What I am saying is that there's a combination of energy, physical aesthetic, and personality that create chemistry. And the biggest part of that is kicked off, right, with the physical, because that's the first thing a person does. They see you and then they talk to you. If you sound like they think or they're attracted to, you guys have similar things in common, your personalities click, then that's it's powerful. And I think that physical attraction is a very necessary variable in that formula, right? I don't think that there's a way to get beyond it. So I said from the beginning that I knew Carlos was really into Janae because of how he responded to her. These women, a lot of these women came on the show hoping that they would be able to convince, cajole, even bully somebody into, oh, it was a pink dress. Okay, pink dress. I thought it was red, pink dress. Somebody else said yellow. Okay, we all don't know the color of the dress. What we do know is that he really liked her from the very start, hands down. So as time went on, the two of them have great chemistry. Carlos was trying to be involved in the game. He was trying to play the game. I don't think Carlos really liked anybody else besides Jennifer, right? Now, and this was kind of tricky because they brought in a matchmaker, and the matchmaker actually said that she picked Jennifer for Carlos because of their backgrounds, which I just don't think the matchmaker did a great job with anybody except for Kalia, who was picked for Thaddius. But the matchmaker picked Kalia for Thaddius. She picked Jennifer for Carlos, and she picked Allison for Tyson. I think she was 100% wrong. I think she picked like a woman would pick. First of all, Tyson is a supermodel and every bit of a supermodel. He is focused on the aesthetic, and I don't think he would ever, ever, ever be with someone. Allison is a beautiful woman, but she doesn't look like a supermodel like him. I think he wants someone that looks like him. We're going to get into Tyson in just a bit. But Carlos and Jennifer, the funny thing is Carlos was very attracted to Jennifer because Jennifer is very cute and very beautiful. And, you know, kind of just goes with the flow. She wants a man. She did say last week, if you guys remember, we talked about that. She called Carlos a sensible salad, a green salad with salmon. And she called Tyson a juicy burger. letting you guys know that that was the same, that she saw Carlos the way Tyson sees Allison. Allison is probably a person that would be good for him, which she admitted, but not someone that he was attracted to, but someone that would be good for him. I think Jennifer saw Carlos as someone that would probably be good for her, but not someone that she's immediately attracted to. She was very attracted to Tyson, and that's where she wanted to be. So, interestingly enough, Carlos was very, very attracted to her and kind of like pulled a little bit away from his main top, which was Janae. However, when Janae talked to him at length about the fact that she had been cheated on before, and she actually told him that she had been cheated on in every situation she was in. I want to point out a fact here. A lot of times when we tell men our background, right, and act like they're overwhelmed, and people have told women, don't tell him everything that you've been through, save some of your stuff, don't overwhelm a man. I just want to prove this point. Like, if a man is into you, he will not see what you've gone through as a hindrance. Instead, he will try to be the bigger man. Carlos was not burdened or distracted, and did not become unattracted to her because she told him she had a painful past. With the right man, everything that you bring to the table is not a burden. It is just a part of the package that he's willing to accept. And I think that's true with both sides. I think men and women, we make up so many excuses of why we do not want to be with the person that we really aren't into. I mean, we will run a marathon looking for reasons to put on the table that we don't want to talk to someone that we're really not into, right? And that's the thing. I think when a man is really into you, Carlos said that he wanted to make sure that he did not put Janae through that. He said that he felt pressure because he did not want to, he wanted to prove himself to be a better fit for her. He said that he felt like she was perfect for him. And instead of saying that her past was a burden, it caused him to want to show up and do better. So I just want everybody watching this show to take note of that. And instead of trying to dumb yourself down or lie or be something that you're not for the wrong person, look at how Carlos reacted to Janae, because that's the person that he wants to be with. And so when she told him that she'd been cheated on in the past, he said that he decided that he did not want to take a chance and lose her by continuing to flirt with Jennifer. He said that he did not want to take that chance. And so he asked her to be his girlfriend, and he told her that he was falling in love with her. He said it before she did. He just was honest about it. And I think Carlos falling in love with this girl on a reality television show is because he is extremely attracted to her physical. He is also attracted to her personality and her energy, right? What she stands for, what she's into. She's showing him he likes the way she looks. He can see her in his life. And that is not something that we often see on reality TV shows. And I actually think it also, to me, proves that not only does he have all those things that he likes about her, right? The chemistry, the personality, the looks, and how she makes him feel. But it also proves that there are men that get to a point in life, whether that's when they're younger or older, middle-aged, or whatever. Carlos could definitely still be playing the field. Like, Carlos is still a very attractive man. He's been there. He's very successful. He will continue to be very successful. So he did not have to do this. He actually is telling the truth as far as his maturity, because you can tell with the decision that he made. Now, I'm not saying that this makes us, it doesn't give us a guarantee that they're going to be together forever or any of that. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that I believe him when he says that he's matured and he really does want a real relationship, and he's done with that because the way he's handling himself on the show, he doesn't have to. He could continue under the guise of, going along with the process, trusting the journey. He could have done that, but he doesn't want to lose out on this particular woman because she has moved him to that point. So I just want to say, like, a lot of times people look at this, and it's easy for us to look and say, oh, well, he's a celebrity, or he's a, former professional athlete. He's probably not serious. Like, that's not true. That's not true about everybody. There are some men that are really do prioritize and want a relationship, because he has no reason to lie. He has no reason to fake on the show, because he could have dragged it out. And honestly, Janae probably would have went along with it. I think, you guys let me know what you think. Put XO in the chat if you think that Janae, even though she really wants Carlos, I think that she would have been fine with waiting till the end of the show. Yes, she kept saying that, she was wanting him to make a decision, and she kept feeling insecure, but I think he could have continued to pull it out if he wanted to, when she wasn't going to leave, right? But he didn't want to hurt her. And I think that's proof that he is mature and that he's serious about what he's saying. And he really, really genuinely likes her. And we do not see this often on reality TV. So I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge it when we see it, and we take note of it in your own lives, whatever guy it is that you're entertaining, or whatever, you start to entertain one. If he has excuses, or if he seems turned off by your past or what you say to him, then he's not for you. He definitely was honest with her about what he was wanting. The other girls, he checked it, and they moved on. And so after this episode, which was Bumpy Ride, he was clear. He definitely didn't say much to Jennifer. She said she felt like a third wheel and she was really uncomfortable, but it didn't matter because he was the sensible salad anyway, as opposed to the juicy burger. And she's not at the age where she has to eat the healthy things. So I think everything was done great. And kudos to Carlos. I really do. I think that we don't know what's going to happen after the show, right? Because the representatives could be making themselves available during this filming. And then when they get off the show, both of them, it could be her that messes up. We don't know. But what we do know is that out of 99% of the reality shows that we see, from The Bachelor to Love is Blind to Married at First Sight, this Carlos has really shown us how a man carries himself if he's serious about making something work and not just playing the game for television. So kudos to Carlos and Janae. I actually really like them together, and I hope that works out. But most importantly, I like the fact that it showed us there is such a thing as an intentional man. There is such a thing as a man that has had a bad past, right? And has learned from that past and is not still operating under that same behavior. And that same behavior, he was married twice, definitely had, went through several divorces, learned. He wasn't honest about being unfaithful in those situations, but he was also very clear about the fact that he doesn't want to put her through that. And he doesn't even want to hurt her to drag her through the rest of this. So kudos to them. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on here to Tyson. Because I will tell you guys what, this show has had a few twists and turns. We knew, because we all heard that, we heard beforehand that Sada was going to had this whole R. Kelly scandal, right? She used to date R. Kelly. But we know that Tyson was kind of torn between Sada and also Felicia. He was not torn between anybody else. Allison, Kat, all the different women that have liked Tyson, he's kind of been playing around with them and enjoying them, but he's not really shown them any real attention. What I was surprised to hear, because I really felt like Sada and Felicia were kind of neck and neck. I honestly thought that Felicia might have been a little bit ahead of Sada, because him and Felicia have a very physical relationship. Like, they're always touching on each other. and she was going out of her way to do that. So I really kind of thought that Felicia was his first, and I felt like Felicia and then maybe Sada and Jennifer, because I also really thought that Tyson really liked Jennifer a lot as well. When they first brought the three women out, even though Tyson was told that Allison was for him, it was clear that he really liked Jennifer a lot, and she really liked him a lot. So to hear him say this episode that out of the two of them, that where he was at prior to last week, that Sada was his top, was really strange to me. And I don't know. I kind of, I'm not gonna lie. I do think that Tyson. I also think, that girl was not, in my opinion, my humble, non-supermodel opinion. I just don't see how she was more attractive than Felicia. Felicia seems like just is beautiful. Even Raquel, who he let go a long time ago. We're not gonna bring her picture back up, but Raquel, like I was surprised that, can we just look what that this was his favorite. That's very strange. Outside of the fact that she's what, Persian or something, like I just didn't really, I mean, she was very obviously into the celebrity lifestyle, obviously just pressuring him. Like I just was, I should not be shocked. I know what you guys are going to say, but I really thought that Felicia and Jennifer were a little bit higher up on the totem pole. Jennifer, even if not Felicia, Jennifer, like I know that they haven't been really connecting a lot. We don't see them, but I really thought that if you just put the two of them together, and we're just talking about face value, I definitely think that Jennifer was, more eye-catching option, and it's Felicia and then Sada. But hey, I'm not a man and I'm not a supermodel. So Tyson said that he was a little thrown off because up until the elimination, which he let Sada go because he learned that she dated R. Kelly, that she was his top. So I don't know. I am a little, that makes me believe that he can touch all over, feel all over, grope all over Felicia. But at the end of the day, now that Jennifer has said that she's focused on Tyson, and that Tyson, Carlos has given Tyson full reign to pursue Jennifer without competition, it could be very well Jennifer over, Felicia. I think Felicia felt like, and she even said in this episode that she felt like she was the front runner now that Sada was gone, right? She felt really confident, but I don't know that she should feel that confident, simply because she was doing all that stuff before. But if Sada hadn't had this, scandalous ex in her past, he was going to pick Sada. So it could be that he prefers the other, like we had initially said in the beginning of this show. Because I just don't understand what else she would have. Like, I know she wore a really tiny dress, when the friends came, and she just barely has any clothes on, but it's just not that great. Like, am I crazy? Like, y'all tell me if I'm crazy. Am I crazy? I could be crazy. Like, I just don't see anything. Now, if your feeling says, other than looks, what does Felicia have to offer? Other than looks, what does Sada have to offer? And not even really looks. I mean, I'm just saying, because to me, that's all Tyson is really offering. It's a even playing field here. I feel like Tyson has been very clear about the fact that he wants eye candy, right? It's eye candy, and somebody that's not too serious and that likes to do adrenaline stuff. That's all we've seen him really mention. He said out of his mouth that Allison was very classy and sophisticated, and that's obviously not what he wants. It's not what he wants. So to your question, other than looks, what does Felicia have? I don't think that's he's offering anything else. Now, the looks are doing their job. but what else can anybody else in the chat tell me what Tyson is offering besides this? I mean, that's what his whole time on the show has been. His whole time has been he takes his clothes off. I mean, well, he takes his shirt off. I mean, we're not complaining, but I'm just saying we're not getting any depth from him. We've gotten depth from conversations with Carlos and with Thaddeus. We have never gotten any conversation with depth from Tyson. On the first episode, he said that he cried because someone he was dating, they had someone else walking the dog. That was one of the first conversations we had. Other than that, it's been put your name on the board. Oh, I like this. You look great. Oh my God, I like to watch you walk away. Like, we haven't got anything from Tyson besides I like eye candy. I am a supermodel and I like supermodel things, right? And I'm not saying that's wrong. I think we all have a right to like what we like, but I'm just saying we don't get anything Tyson other than I want to touch and play and have fun, and I want all the attention on me. I will say this: I really do think a big part of his attraction. I do think he's very attracted to Jennifer because I think that's the aesthetic that he liked. But I also think a big part of why he was enjoying that so much is because he wanted to pull her from Carlos. I think Tyson liked the fact that he's the most popular in the house. He mentioned that several times, and he's with other men that are grown and don't really care about that. So Thaddeus and Carlos just kind of let him have it because they don't care. They all have a lot of women off of this show and on the show. So they haven't really seemed to want to play, I got more women than Tyson. Tyson at one point, but I think he really liked the fact that, did you guys notice when Carlos said he was going to take Jennifer on the field trip, that Tyson grabbed her? It's just very immature. I want all the ladies, right? Because I'm used to being able to show up and get all the attention. So I don't think that he brings anything to the table besides looks. And I think that anyone who has something besides looks, he's not really interested in anything other than the looks and the sexuality. So with that being said, let's get into the date, the G-Wagon date. That was a huge, I don't even think Mercedes-Benz, I mean, they probably let them borrow them, probably one of the dealerships here in Atlanta, because they filmed it here in Atlanta, but it was a little bit much with the G-Wagon, the matching G-Wagons. And that's no shade because that's, my dream car. But anyway, they all got in their matching G-Wagons. Tyson was with Felicia and Jennifer and Allison. Poor Allison. I really want her to go home. I just want Allison to go home. No one likes Allison. I'm not sure how, I don't think she's as old as she reads, but she's just too mature for, and the only person on this show that really liked mature women was Thaddeus, which we're going to get into in a minute. But yeah, she needs to go home. Now, she did have a conversation with Tyson. I wish I had screenshotted the picture of the ladies at the table, because Allison was dressed so different than Jennifer and oh my gosh, and Catherine. Everybody was dressed so different. Everybody's dress really told a lot about their personality. If you guys remember, Allison has this velvet dress on with bows on the sleeve. It is very opera singer-ish. It was very mature, right? And then Jennifer has this very, very sexy dress with straps across the back and her strappy shoes that Tyson complimented. And then Catherine had this very formal dress with it just looked very formal and not like a young sexy woman, like someone that was trying, right? So anyway, that was interesting to me, the dresses. you show up and what it says about you. If you guys watch, if you didn't watch, go back and watch that. Maybe next week I'll bring screenshots of that because I was watching. I was like, those dresses are really wild, and they really tell you a lot about the personality. But I think fashion is always how we express ourselves. So yeah, that was interesting. The very formal, overly dramatic, formal dress that Catherine had on, this really super sexy hot number that Jennifer had on, and then this sophisticated, velvet. It was just wild. With Allison, definitely says that out of those three, Jennifer needed to be with Tyson, and the other ones needed to just go home. But so Tyson is in the car with Allison, Jennifer, and Felicia. I don't know how they managed to do this, but they showed little snippets of Tyson and Jennifer, like making, not Tyson and Jennifer, Tyson and Felicia making out. That's all they do, and I think that's her strategy, is just to make out with Tyson and then to be to tell people that that's her man. And I mean, it's working, I guess, or not, because Sada was his favorite. But keep going, girl, and not saying that Felicia, is very different than Sada. Honestly, they both are kind of the same. I date celebrities. I'm that chick that dates celebrities. Out of the three of them, I probably would rather see Jennifer win, just because Jennifer is not as innocent as she tries to make herself seem. She does a lot of giggling and just, but she's not innocent. She kind of has the same energy as I should be. You should look at me and know that you want me, right? She's got the tattoos everywhere, like Tyson. I think she's going to definitely surprise Felicia, give Felicia a run for her money. Carlos had Janae, and of course, also, did he have? No, Jennifer was in the car. So yeah, Jennifer was in the car with Carlos and Janae, and that's when he decided that he didn't want to keep putting Janae through that. Allison was in the car with Tyson and Felicia, and she was just not even really involved. She seemed like the old auntie in the car with them. She was not. Tyson did not relate to her at all. She seemed like the auntie there. Yeah, Tyson has tats everywhere. I'm surprised you didn't see that, because he'd spend a lot of time with his shirt off. And even like, I think, let me pull up this picture. I think I think you can't see it here. Yeah. But I'll get a picture for next week. He has tattoos everywhere. That's part of his brand also. You know what? Let me see, because I'm just, I don't ever want to keep a woman from information. I think information is important. I think we should all have information. So let me see if I can get a picture of Tyson, just to share with you there, because I don't want you not to have information. Far be it from me to keep information from women. That's not anything that I would ever do on this show. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that we share information. But anyway, so and then Thaddeus, we can move on, because we know that Tyson now is going to be between. Allison said that she was going to step things up, and her and Tyson had this conversation, but yeah, no, it's not going to be. I'm trying to get a good one for you. Hey, you there? I want you to have the best. But anyway, yeah, it's not like he's really going to take her seriously. I don't think there's anything Allison can do that would make Tyson. I think he enjoys being praised and being salivated over, right, like everybody else. But there's no possible way he could take Allison seriously, because they don't have anything to talk about. And I would, I like Allison, and I think she's awesome as far as I like the fact that she has a career, and she has, she has a very successful career. She's very talented, but I do think she could probably use a makeover. I actually, something about the hair, I think it just, I don't know. I'm just saying, I would give her a makeover. I would give her a makeover. with her hair. I just think her hair could be more flattering to her face. I think she's an attractive woman. But I think just how she does her hair, it just makes her look older. Just saying. No disrespect to Allison, but I just think, if she ever came to Atlanta, I think there's a lot of stylists here that could just give her a more youthful look, right? Even with the velvet dress with the bows on the side, maybe just a more youthful look. But hey, if a man's attractive, he's going to see through that. But I definitely think the presentation could be amped up a little bit. So, hey, you there. I just want to make sure that everybody sees. So Tyson has like sleeves. If you see here, he also has like a tattoo on the side of his neck. And there also are tattoos all over his back. So yes, and Sada has a tattoo like right on her shoulder, right around her shoulder blade. This huge. But yeah, Tyson is definitely known for all his tattoos. And I don't have a back version, but they're all over his back. And then, like I said, you can see on the side of the neck. So, so yeah, I think they look like they would do a great photo shoot together. I mean, my publicist brain would be like, they would make, that would be a great photo shoot. Oh, if you're going to say Allison does look older than Catherine, she does. Or the same. Like, she looks like she would be that age, right? And yeah, definitely. It's the hair. I'm telling y'all, she didn't need to do her hair different. Because I've been looking at it and I'm trying to figure out how can we, and she does, yes, I can show Allison. Hold on, let me show Allison so we can get, and make sure I get my people in, because we're getting ready to get into this Thaddeus conversation here. Thaddeus, and in just a second, we're going to talk about Thaddeus and Catherine. But before that, let me show Allison to those of you. Yes. Okay. See there? I think maybe because there's not a definite pattern, a definite part. I don't know. Like this, what do you, something is wrong with the hair. Something is, and this is a good picture, but something is just not, I don't think this hair is good for her. Like maybe it needs to be cut. Maybe it needs to be layered. I know we definitely need to get a part. We need to make a decision. We need to make a decision about which side, what is happening with the part. Like, why are we just combing it back? Why are we just combing it back? We need to commit to either in the middle or on a side. It's just combed back. It's not connecting. And I think layers and maybe like some depth, right? Because one more time, let's just look at this. So the color is kind of flat. It's all the same color, the same length. I think we could add some depth by cutting some layers in that and making it, just pop a little bit more. I think that would make her look totally different. That would make her look a lot younger, and her style. We'll get to the style after we get to the hair. The hair is just taking me. And she definitely, but see, if she had layers, then we could see like some curl or some definition, some texture or something, because this is not it. It's not working. It's not working. It's just it's not. And you got these girls that are coming with it. Like the bam, bam. See, it's not working. And then Felicia. Oh no, I'm so sorry. That's not Felicia. I am so sorry. Different show. Wrong show. That is absolutely not Felicia. Hold on, let me go up because these are older pictures. Okay, Felicia is right here. And that's not my favorite picture of her. Her hair is really pretty. But it's long and I think it's natural, but I don't like that the best. Like a lot of times she has it up. I think Tyson asked her to wear a ponytail, look really cute on her. She's really a beautiful girl and she's really aware of it. So yeah, Allison, now we all have an understanding of what the problem is and why Tyson is not, ma'am, hey, you there, ma'am? All right, let's buy a lodge for the color. I'm telling y'all, just some layers, a cut would thicken it and would give her face a little bit more depth. And I would really, really do like some darker blonde and then some like, to get, just liven it up. Anyway, all right. Tyson ain't gonna care about it anyway because he's gonna be chasing Jennifer and Felicia gonna be chasing him. So it doesn't even matter really. It's just all for us. And maybe we just want to see Allison in a happy place. She's obviously single. We want her to find love. And that's not gonna be it, girl. That hair is not gonna be it. So anyway, let's yeah, Hey You There is in timeout. But that is funny. So I'm just gonna, because you did it, I'm just gonna say, so people watching, and this is, again, we're just having fun. We want Allison to find love. We think that she has good basic foundations, a good basic foundation. She's got a beautiful face. Did you guys see when she did the talent show, she put on a dress show that she's, she looks good in the dress, got long legs. But yeah, she needs a wardrobe refresh and a different hairdo. But anyway, off we go. All right, let's get to Thaddeus because that's why we're here. That's why we're here tonight. And I'm sorry about that accidental RTL. First of all, have you guys seen that Thaddeus does this all the time? Like he does that hand thing all the time. When Kalia said she did pole dancing, tell me more. Anytime there's mention of sex, he does that. It's weird. But anyway, I noticed that and he's doing it in the promo. But all right, so Thaddeus goes on a date and he has Catherine, which I don't really understand how Thaddeus ended up with Catherine. I guess just because she's older. And it's clear Tyson don't want anybody older, period. And Carlos didn't want anybody older either. Janae is like 32. And yeah, Catherine is a grown woman, grown. And this is not the place for that. So I think she just kind of like by default got thrown with Thaddeus because he does not run at the things that other men, celebrity men run at. However, I want to just, before we get into this conversation about him and Candace, I want to point out, let me bring Thaddeus back up here, okay? Now, we have championed him all season long. We have said that he was emotionally mature. We have said that he appreciated strong women, which he said that he did. However, I gotta just say that it seems a little strange that Thaddeus has been the only one on the show that has gotten into it with several women. Like Tyson is going to definitely avoid it. And I'm not saying Carlos has definitely put, he put Lexi in her place early on when Jona says, who is we? I'm saying the most of it, that was all me. It was all me? No, it was, not taking that. There were some of you on here that were with me. I was not alone in saying that, really, Anisha, that said that Thaddeus, we appreciated him. Even in the clips that I put up when we talked about the fact that he was honest about his background, his very painful background. But I want to just ask, obviously you guys are abandoning me right now, which is not a good sign. But, say you're going to have to wear that wrap. That's hilarious. Yeah, Thaddeus keeps getting into it with women. Yeah, let's go back to Dr. Shawana, who we liked. Oh, y'all are jumping out of this boat faster than anything I have ever seen. Now, stop it. I'm gonna go back and start calling people out. But Dr. Shawana, we liked her. He said that he loved a strong woman, right? He said that. He said that he liked a strong woman, that he appreciated it, that he admired it. And then he kept calling her aggressive. She, in a beautiful example of womanhood and maturity, let him know that she did not appreciate him calling her aggressive over and over and over again. He apologized, and that was it. However, then he got upset because she was not fighting to be his top. She said that he said that she was acting like a background singer, right? And then he let her go. We were all upset. Are you guys going to admit that we were all upset, or am I by myself on that too? I see how y'all are doing me tonight, okay? Um, he let her go. And we were very confused because according to Thaddeus, he really likes mature women. I'm trying to get Dr. Shawana. I'm trying. I will let y'all know. I will put up the little like the ad that lets people know. People that should be subscribed already will get the notification. But we are working on that because she's here in Atlanta. And so, but anyway, when he let her go, we were a little ticked off. And we were a little concerned because, okay, Dr. Shawana was the woman that he claimed that he wanted. Like, she's educated, she was beautiful, she was a doctor, she had her PhD, so she had a doctorate and worked in education. He has school, everything just seemed perfect. And then Ariel comes in with these see-through pants on, showing off her body. Now, she also has a PhD. I think she's like a physical therapist or something, but she's not leading with that. She's leading with beauty and her body. She's also a bodybuilder, and she's definitely leading with that, right? So it's kind of thrown us off that he claimed that he wanted all this, but his actions are showing that he doesn't. Now, then you guys remember Lexi, which we're not standing behind Lexi at all, but Lexi came over to him and said something, and he definitely checked the crap out of her and sent her on her way, which she needed to be checked because she was wrong, but he had no problem checking her, okay? So then he checked Ariel. You guys remember that? Ariel said something about, I'm not sure if Kalia said something and Ariel got upset, and then Thaddeus checked her. Then Dr. Kalia and Thaddeus got into a full-fledged argument, to which we talked about last week, because, and it made me, I started crying and everything. I had a whole meltdown because he said that he could not lead, and she was not peaceful because she was talking back to him. And we were like, now, okay. Now, I did see some things with Dr. Kalia that seemed a little strange. Her telling him that she saw him as her husband, I thought was a huge mistake. And then her basically, their conversation, she got a little like in her feelings, and he checked it, and it was kind of like, oof, I felt for her, right? We talked about it as a family and we moved forward. And then Sunday, he gets into it with Catherine and walks out, leaves her at the table and walks out. So I want to just go ahead and just say that even though we may have some issues with the way Catherine showed up, I do want to acknowledge that Thaddeus has had this happen with just about everyone that he was with. The only person that he didn't get into it with was Brianna, who he sent home. So I just want to say that because, like I said, as I was watching the show, first when I saw the clip, I was like, yo, she's tripping. And then I was like, but is everybody tripping? Is everybody tripping? Like, we really saw what Dr. Shawana was saying. We all agreed no Black woman wants to be told over and over again that she's aggressive. And he was saying it like it was a positive thing, but it really wasn't. And we know that it wasn't, because he wanted her to be more aggressive and chase him. He got upset because he said she was playing the background. She said she wasn't going to chase, and she stood on business and she went home. Then Ariel, that he's very attracted to, I got one more thing before we get into this conversation. She said something and she showed a little attitude. He checked her for the attitude. He's checking everybody. Like, I don't know that I really want to, like, if you're checking us on TV, what's going to happen at home. Also, one of the things that we had an issue with as a family, I guess, unless y'all are going to leave me out again, is the fact that when he invited his family a couple of weekends ago, um, his family consisted of his ex, who is taking care of his children, and his best friend. Now, the ex didn't have any children of her own, but she connected with his children when she was dating him, and I don't know if she became like the nanny housekeeper thing, but that could be. And the way he introduced it was very unapologetic, and I think a lot of women would have an issue with that, right? But it seemed as though he was testing Kalia. You guys remember that? Because her going off, I feel like Thaddeus likes to test people. And he says he wants a strong woman, but then he doesn't really, because he becomes offended. He wants to go back and forth, and then he really doesn't want that. So I'm a little concerned about our actions and our words aligning, right? Now, that being said, I did not agree with Catherine, and I'll tell you guys why. I didn't agree with Dr. Kalia saying that she saw that he was her husband. I felt like that was a little wild. But I want to tell you guys why, and because we're just going to go on to get into it. I'm going to show you guys Kalia for anybody that does not watch, just so that you can see who we're talking about. And then we're going to move forward. So this is Kalia. And then, and I'm sorry for this picture, but this is, and then this is Catherine, right? So Catherine came late. She was the woman. She was very honest about her age. She is 50 years old. She was attracted to everybody. Initially, she had a conversation with Tyson. Tyson wants more children, even though Tyson is 54. And so he passed her along. Now, Kalia, Dr. Kalia and Thaddeus had a blow up, and then they supposedly got to a better place. Do I think they're really in a better place from his perspective? No. But it was interesting to see, okay, all right, I'm not trying to do, you know what, that's not a good picture. This is, okay, there we go. This is Catherine, very pretty, and Thaddeus. Now, when they were all asked to pick a date based on the women that were with them on the field trip, the G-wagon field trip, right? I'm not really sure why Thaddeus picked Catherine. I don't know if a producer told him to do that, because I didn't really see him having chemistry with her. I thought she was cool, but I didn't really see that. What I did peep, was that Catherine, if you guys noticed, when she did her confessionals, she kept saying that, I don't consider anything competition. I'm always number one, even if I'm not. And it just was a lot of posturing that I think it came off to me like she had a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, because obviously you're not the favorite with any of these guys here, and I think by 50, you should know that you cannot compete for a man, right? You cannot compete. So if he's not into you, he's just not into you. But she was like, I'm always number one. And I was like, okay, she's from Detroit. That's a little Detroit energy. I'm not mad at that, right? But I kind of felt like she's got a little bit of a chip on her shoulder. So by the time he selected her and they're preparing for their stay home date, because they gave all the guys dates with the person that they wanted to have a date with, and they kept them at the house. They sent the other ladies out. So Dr. Kalia is getting ready to leave. She comes in a towel. I thought that was kind of wild. I did think that was wild. It was very un-Kalia. Well, it's not the Dr. Kalia that we see, but she came switching by in her towel, and then she got ready to leave. She gave him a kiss on the forehead, right? On his head. Well, our girl Catherine didn't like that. But my thing is, y'all know y'all in a house, y'all are living in a house like college kids, right? So you can't be mad at her for playing the hand she's dealt. You've been playing the hand you're dealt, right? So she gets a little upset with that. So she says, she makes a statement. Like, y'all know Thaddeus does not, he is not down with women, saying anything. Like, he does not like it. He checked Ariel, and sure enough, he planned to check um, Catherine. Now, this is where I think Catherine was wrong. Catherine comes on the date, and she has this energy, which is why I don't think women of a certain age should go on reality shows, because you're really not, after a certain age, you're really not about games. Like, you're really not trying to sit around and just be like Jennifer and just tee-hee. Like, you don't want to tee-hee. Like, you trying to figure out, is this for real or not? That's not reality show energy. Reality show energy is young girls that want to dress half naked and tee-hee. You don't want to tee-hee at 50. So he says to her, she says, what do you like about me? Now, I think, Catherine is coming into this situation as if she is in control, which I'm not mad at that, sis. He's an attractive man. He's a catch. You're a catch as well. You're an attractive woman, 50 years old. But if you're trying to have good date conversation, and she's trying to figure out, it feels like you're fishing for a compliment, and that never really works. It doesn't really work off TV. It doesn't really work on TV. So she asked him, what did he like about her? And I feel like she was trying to come and be competitive by trying to point out her positive things, right? That never works. That's just never a good way. I don't think. So I was already kind of like, what is she doing with this? So he named some things that he liked about her. And then he said what he didn't like. And he didn't like her having an attitude with Dr. Kalia because she kissed her on the head. So then this is where we get to the point of why men don't like older women. Because Catherine texts Thaddeus, and she's like, I didn't ask you. She said, I asked you what you like about me, and here you come complaining about what you don't like. I was like, oh, girl, okay, that's a little bit much. It was giving attitude to me. To me, I felt like that was giving a bad attitude. I think, she could have just acknowledged what he said and moved on with the conversation. And he did. Okay. So when she said, I didn't ask you for what you didn't like, I asked you for what you like, and then you started complaining, and I don't really want to hear that. He tried to talk, and then she tried to cut him off and told him that she did not want to waste her time on her date talking about another woman. Okay, now I'm sure some of you probably agree with that, but I just feel like you're trying to check him, and you're trying to bully him into liking you. You asked him what he liked about you. First of all, I'm just saying, not that I have game, but I'm just saying, if you're trying to get a man's attention and get him, move up in the hierarchy there, probably want to just talk to him about what you like about him. Just saying. But trying to get it focused on you as the woman and not a top, it just didn't seem like a good way to go. Now, Tasha says she agrees. Okay, it's good. I don't agree. And then when he explained to her, then for her to try to shut it down, I thought that was lame. I was like, oh, this is not going to go well, because you're checking him. Like, you are checking him. I didn't come here to talk about this and that about another woman. I want the attention back on me. That is not ever going to go well. Like, you're coming off like, first of all, he don't really like you that much. Okay, it'd be different if this conversation was between Carlos and Janae, somebody that has, but if a man is not really into you and you start checking, you got a little bit of like, hey, Edna, you got a little bit of like, and you start checking him with that little bit of like, that's not a good idea. It's not good. It's not going to go good. I don't think it's black mansplaining. I think it's just you catch more flies with honey. And Tammy says, then send me home and be done with it. And will, and did. I don't know if she was testing him. It just wasn't a good strategy to me. First of all, let's talk about why you like me. Remember that other girl? I can't remember her name. When they asked when his family was there, and they were like, what do you like about Thaddeus? And she was like, I like how he looks at me. Like, that was not received well. Anytime you're having a conversation with someone, remember, you are trying to catch the honey, catch the flies, or catch the Negro, whatever. You don't go in like that. Like, what about me? Do you see me? Da, 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 da. Like, it just was giving kind of, I'm trying to get you to see how great I am. Kind of like Lexi. You remember when Carlos asked Lexi, he said, well, you have my attention. What do you want? And then she fumbled. Well, I don't like to have to brag about, that's just let you know. If he's not telling you what he likes, you shouldn't have to ask him. You shouldn't have to ask him what he likes about you. Why don't you just have a conversation? And I tell you what I would do is tell him what I like about him. If he likes me, then he's going to reciprocate. That's just a rule of communication. A person is going to reciprocate. If they don't reciprocate, guess what? He may not like you. You're going in very, very hot, assuming that you have, room, and you necessarily don't. And she's like, well, I don't like, and I do agree with you guys. I do think that she was frustrated because she's there and she wasn't really anyone's top and she was irritated. But if you're going to be on a reality show, you cannot try to get a guy. You're here competing with other women over a guy. You can never have the strategy to be irritated. That's just not, I'm not crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, like, that just does not, you got to put your best foot forward. That was not the best foot, Catherine. That was a bad foot. It was not a bad foot. I mean, that's not a good foot. It was a bad foot. What do you like about me? I don't want to talk about any other women on my date. I asked you for this, and now you're like, it came off like a woman that's going to be doing na in your face. It did. Now, Thaddeus getting up and leaving, and she said, now, another thing, ladies, I've done this myself. So I'm saying this based on personal experience from back in the day and me doing it sometimes now, trying to do better, but I'm just admitting. So then she said, well, if you don't want to be here on a date with me, he didn't say that. He told her that he did not like what she did with Dr. Kalia. She then said she didn't want to talk about nobody else but her. She didn't like the fact that he was complaining. And then she went all the way around and said, well, if you don't want to be here with me, you don't have to, like, that never works. Let me let y'all know, I have done that in the past. There's a line in Poetic Justice where Regina King's character, I can't remember her name in the movie, but she said, I am not in the habit of keeping Negroes that don't want to be kept. I used that line several times. There's also a line in the Fantasia song. I was just going to say that. Hey, there we're here. She says, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. I love that song. I remember one of my exes was like, Crystal, I know. Because I used to be kind of different. I would say I'm quick. I got a quick mouth. You ain't got to be here if you don't want to. And guess what? That never, ever, ever gets a great response. Because think about it. If a guy said that to you, that's not going to make you be like, oh, well, I really do want you here. Oh, well, I didn't say that, but now that you did, oh, well, like it's gonna give bad energy. So when she said what she said, with that energy, he responded in like, right? In kind. And then he got up and he was like, he got up and with his still eating. He got up with a mouthful of food. I was like, Thaddeus, at least swallow. He got up and left and was like, well, he's like, does this feel like a date? And she was like, no. No, she said, does this feel like a date? Because she was upset because her date, she didn't feel like her date was going well. But instead of taking accountability for it, she blamed it on him. And then he was like, no, I'm not going to stay here. But when he got pissed when she was like, well, if you didn't want to be here with me in the first place, that is really immature. So, and I'm saying I've done it. It's immature, right? I had to stop doing that. He did not like her, but you're on a show, you know that you're not his top. Making it worse is making it worse. It ain't making it better, right? So he left. Now, this is where things get even worse. I'm going to give her some grace and assume that maybe production asked her to go in and barge on the other dates. Maybe production asked her to bust in on Tyson and Felicia, who were extremely irritated that she was there, as they should have been. And then Carlos and Jana, who have just sealed the fact that they're in a relationship. She was wrong to go in on those dates with that food. Now, again, I'm going to assume that maybe production asked her to do that. I'm going to assume that she did not pull a Lexi and try to go mess up their dates because hers was messed up. I'm going to assume that. But even the way she went in there, it was all wrong. It was all wrong. Like that same plate, I think production told her to do that because that was really crazy. Why would you try to go mess their dates up? Go home. I wouldn't even stay for elimination dinner. Go home. So Tyson did, and he's such a nice, he just doesn't like confrontation. He was just like, leave it outside. Like, and then she went in. Carlos and Janae were celebrating their relationship. It was just wild. It was wild. I think that but I also feel like she had, and I'm telling you guys, I feel like this because of all the things that we saw her doing. We saw her saying in her confessionals that she's never the one. I'm not the one. I'm the one. I'm not the two. All that energy. And then the way she went off on him and attempted to check him. It was not. And I'm telling you, I agree, Tammy. Like I have done that when I was younger. And that means that you're hurt and you already kind of know that man is not into you. Because if he's into you, you ain't got to do all that. Saying, well, if you didn't want me here anyway, that means that in your head, you think that he doesn't really want you, which means why are you on this show competing with these little young girls? Go home. It's probably some amazing man in Detroit or the surrounding areas. You trying to be on reality TV is not good. Edna says pretty privilege, but I'm saying something about pretty privilege. Pretty privilege is a real thing. However, it does not age well. Can I say that? Pretty privilege does not age well because I know a lot of women that were considered drop dead gorgeous, and you may still look like that for the most part, but after 20 or 30 years, that younger girl is still going to be able to pull them, and the younger girl still has to jump on that pretty privilege. It doesn't age well. It sours quickly like milk. Like whole vitamin D milk, not like almond milk. It doesn't. So I'm just saying, I get it. It probably is pretty privileged, but she's 50, so it don't really work like that. You could look good for 50, but you still don't look like Jennifer. And I'm saying that as someone who is sitting right next to you. But I also know that you don't move like that. Like you don't. That's the thing. If you're 50, then you should know how to move differently. That is what you do when you're a spoiled little girl that's used to having all the attention. Like Raquel, you guys remember Raquel? Like, well, I'm not going to check. Okay, bye, girl. Like, there's a lot of pretty women in the world. So many pretty. It's just pretty is not exclusive. No one has the patent on pretty, right? So and by 50, you know that, right? So that's why it doesn't age well. Pretty privilege doesn't age well. You could, Larsa Pippen, that's a whole other story. Y'all know I'm getting in on Larsa, but Larsa is willing to do the work. Her work is, She does look good. She's a beautiful woman, but I'm just saying she actually should have had more game because she is 50. You can't have 30-year-old game when you're 50. That's a waste. That's a waste of 20 years, man or woman. Hell, Tyson has 30-year-old game at 54, which is why he's dating 30-year-olds. You know what I mean? It's not, yes, yes, hey, you there. That is exactly what Larsa is doing. Larsa is going after checks. She does look good, but guess what? She don't look like them 24-year-olds, but she got game. She know how to talk to them. That's not what Catherine was doing. Catherine tried to boss up on a beast of a man. That never works. And of course, he sent her home. He wasn't into her anyway. She just didn't. This wasn't the show for her. Now she went on a show with men in their 60s and 70s that are wealthy and want a woman. Then those men are going to be really excited about a 50-year-old. But ain't no 48-year-old gonna be jumping through hoops for no 50-year-old talking to him crazy. That's just real. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying that she's, women are right. Women are always wrong at all. I'm just saying you gotta know the game. You gotta just know the game. You gotta know the game. You're on a show with girls that are young enough to be your daughter, and you gonna try to bully him into that. Ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. It was just not good. And people say, they said she left with grace. I mean, what else was she gonna do? She wasn't gonna leave like Sada. That was foolishness. What's she gonna do? You just go back to Detroit and find a great, older man with some money that will put you on a pedestal. And it is what it is. She's definitely pretty, but her reactions was not right. Londa says, after seeing Thaddeus on Dear Future Wifey, he wasted those ladies' times playing games, knowing he wasn't looking for love, said he was going to leave single. I will say this. I will say, because I said I didn't agree with Catherine at all. I knew things were going to go bad when I saw her confessionals. However, I do think Thaddeus, the fact that he has checked everybody is a problem. And also, we have a lot of empathy for what he went through, his past, but that is a lot. That is a lot. And when you, I'm sure all of these women are actresses and models. So of course she is, of course, but I don't know if this was if this is the thing about reality shows. And I'm speaking from a publicist perspective, right? All these people go on these shows and think it's going to be a good step for them. It's not. Catherine will not read the book because she will not receive it. I would send it to her, but she will not receive it. See, I think Dr. Kalia would, but Catherine is not going to receive it because she is, my granny used to say, you do not get old for no reason. And if you are of a particular age, particular season in life, and you're still carrying yourself as something different, then you probably are not open and willing. This book is for people that realize that, I'm running the same walls. I want to do something different. Because that's where I was. I was like, And not that any of those guys I was talking to were the right for me. I also wanted to check myself. Two things can be true. The guy can be wrong and you can be wrong too. And I think in this situation, Thaddeus was wrong because he is coming off as way too argumentative with women that just like him. Like, why are you trying to check everybody? You're not everybody's daddy. Something is wrong with him. And he's not ready for love. He probably has some deep-seated issues because not only is him trying to check everybody a problem, but what about this woman that's your best friend that is taking care of your children that you just trying to force down people's throat? Like, a lot of people are not going to be cool with that. That's something else happening, right? And so maybe, and I'm sure it was a good look for him TV wise, because I don't know if he's fighting anymore, but or doing whatever the WWE people do, but it was a good look for him to be on TV. I do appreciate a lot of his conversations, but I don't think that he was really looking for love, right? I think he was open to the possibility. But I think if he was really looking for love, he would have tried to do something more with Dr. Shawana, because she was the package. She was the one that was able to speak to him like a king and still, you guys see the difference between how when Dr. Shawana spoke to him about what he did with him calling her aggressive and the difference between the way Catherine confronted him. Two different energies, right? And one is one that a man's going to receive. The other is one that he's going to come back with similar or even more aggressive energy. And that's what happened. Now, I give him credit for coming back and apologizing to her, because walking out on her on a date was just super dramatic. It is just dramatic. And I wonder, like, is he doing this on dates in real life, or is he just trying to be an asshole on TV? But like, if you're doing this on dates in real life, that is exhausting. He should have just, because you really don't want someone that has their own mind and is strong. You really want someone that's just gonna, because he keeps talking about peace and when he can't lead. So you really just want someone that's going to be like, whatever you like, but very smart and very advanced. And that doesn't really happen. A person is who they are in a very collective way, right? So this Dr. Kalia situation is definitely not going to work. We know that. I mean, bless my sister's heart. And this is the thing that we have to realize. Men don't value the same qualities that women do in people. So a man who considers himself at the top of his food chain as an alpha is not looking for a woman who is also at the top. He's just not. You know what I mean? I think he says that he is because it's probably what he would wish that he could do. But really what we see Thaddeus being attracted to is a woman that's leading with sexuality. And just happen to be, you know, have a doctorate in physical therapy. I'm sure she's very smart, but she's also she's smart to not lead with that, because that is for a man like Thaddeus, even though he says that that's what he wants, he really does not. He really prefers a woman that's leading with her behind and her breasts out. And so that's not what Dr. Kalia is doing. You see that he said, tell me more, when she said that she does pole dancing. Anything else? Like I think he likes the fact that she's a pediatrician, and he probably admires that. He probably would like to be friends with her. But who men want to be their friend and who they want to sleep with are two very different women often. I've learned that the hard way. You know, so a lot of times all the things that you do to be the doctor or to be the accomplished executive or to own your own business, those are qualities that don't allow you to sharpen those sexy skills, which is what part of my book is about. I think we do have to focus on that too as a woman, because you do want to be able to, you know, feed every area. But a lot of times the men don't want anything outside of that. So, but what nobody wants is someone that's 50 and is carrying themselves with insecurity, which is what that whole thing was about. Well, if you didn't want to be on this date with me, what she really wanted to say was, I think you probably just want to take Dr. Kalia on a date. That you don't tell a person what they want, because anybody would say that. If you invited a man out and he says, well, you probably want to be on a date with me anyway, you probably want to be with someone else, you would say something smart back to him. You know what I mean? Unless you pity him and don't respect him, but you'd be like, no, I really like you. But in your head, you'd be like, maybe I don't. Maybe I shouldn't be here with you. If you don't think I should be here with you, maybe I shouldn't. You know what I mean? It's just, all that is not necessary. And especially in that energy that she had. I think that he probably sees Kalia as, not Kalia, but Catherine as attractive. I think he's just not attracted to her. Right. And that's two very different things too. Can we say that? Like, a man can think you're attractive. He just may not be attracted to you. Just like we can think a man is attractive and just not be attracted to him. It's like, I can look at that and see that he's a nice looking man, but do I want to lay down with him? No. And I think men see that all the time. Like, she's attractive, but that's just not what I'm looking for. It's not what's going to turn me on. And when you can tell what is going to turn a man on, the way he's talking, the way that Thaddeus is looking at Ariel, that's what he's turned on by. I don't even know. I think he liked Shawana. I think that Dr. Shawana probably didn't have a freaky enough side for him, because you guys do remember that he did talk about how he likes sex to be like whatever. And he's just very, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming him, but I think he wants something that's a little different, that's a little racier than Dr. Kalia is going to be able to bring. The pole dancing ain't going to be enough, girlfriend. But I'm glad that Catherine is gone. I hope that she will not go on any more reality shows with young girl. Go on the Golden Bachelor. You would kill them on there, because that's, older women. The women that are in their 50s are young, and then the other women are in their 70s. Those men are looking for 60 or 50-year-old women. Yes, Tammy. Sorry, you're not my kind of girl. That's exactly what it is. And we all learned that lesson when New Edition taught us that when we were younger. We talked about that on the Run That Back podcast. That's the first time we heard of a man that can say, you're very pretty, you're just not my kind of girl. And I think that's how Thaddeus feels about Catherine. You're very pretty. The way you dress is oh so fresh. It's not the way that you carry yourself. Oh, girl, I'm sorry. You're just not my kind of girl. It's a good time to just end it on that note. Tammy, I'm just saying, if she wants to be on reality shows, you're not ever going to win at 50 up against women in their 30s. I wish that you could. I am definitely, almost that age, but I just know that's not going to happen. It's not real. It's not realistic. Men that go on reality TV are not looking for mature women. They're not looking for women their age. They're looking for trinkets and, younger women that can be great eye candy. They're not. They're not. And then on top of that, to have an attitude that's a little combative, it's not good. Sam Elliott is attractive. And he is. He is an attractive older gentleman. He is. As is Kevin Costner. But yes, no one wants to sleep with them. I definitely do not. I can definitely look at an older man and find him attractive. I can look at some younger men and think they're attractive. They're just not my type. And I think men are the same, but specifically when it comes to, who they want to actually lay down with. They're very different. Many men are looking for a toy, and toys don't talk back. So anyway, that is my review. I'm going to give Bumpy Ride a 8 for the review, because I thought it was a really good episode. I just need Allison to go home. Oh wow. I need Allison to go home, or to get that haircut that we talked about, or both. Go home and get the haircut. I think that's a win. Who else do we need to go home? I think Jennifer's going to give Felicia a run for her money. Carlos and Janae, we got to be hurry up and wrap this up, because what are we doing? Thaddeus is going to go with Ariel, and Dr. Kalia is going to spaz out. And I'm here for that. I'm looking forward to that. So as much as we like Dr. Kalia, we know that that's not going to work. Their lifestyles wouldn't even mesh anyway. I don't even know how she's on the show, but that's not going to work. Yeah, he's going to definitely go with Ariel, and that's probably not going to work at all, But yeah, he definitely needs to probably get some more work. And I don't know, with something that hurtful and traumatic in your past, he's going to have to do probably even more. I mean, because you can heal certain things, but need to do more healing and more healing. Healing is a never-ending journey, right? And he probably learned a lot about himself on this show. But I don't want to see Thaddeus check any more women on this show. I know I need to really be talking about the book more. I need to be talking about the book more on this channel. Actually, I have gotten lazy with the book promotion, because I really do believe that the book can help women. And so I need to do that. Definitely need to get back into that. My birthday is next month. My birthday is October 3rd. So I think I'm going to do something to celebrate my birthday with the book, and talk about it and start doing more conversations about the book, because obviously in all these shows, it comes up that women need this book. And I need to do the sequel to it to continue the conversation. I agree. There's definitely a man just being an asshole, but I don't think that's what that is. I think he has asshole ways, but I also think he has there's a reason for that. There's a root to it. Most people, there's a root to their issues, right? And I think that he was wrong, but I do think she was wrong too. I think she went in. I think in most situations, toxic breeds toxic. So toxicity comes from a toxic person reacting to another person toxicity with their own toxicity, and then it blows up. And I feel like that's what we saw. Um, and I feel like Catherine went in feeling at a disadvantage, and if you really are ready to be on a show, you know that, and you're okay with that. But she was not okay with that. And I'm not going to say it would be easy to do that, but I also would say you got to know what it is when you go on there, right? Thank you. MT69 mentioned me going on a Yala. And one of the things about, do y'all know when I went on a Yala, I did not think I was wrong, but I knew that was a possibility. I knew there was a possibility. And so I was open to that possibility. When you go on a reality show, you got to know what you're up against. If you go on a show where you're competing with other women for a man, you got to know that there is a potential that you may not be the favorite. And how am I going to be okay with that? Because that can be difficult. I saw you post at the Derby. Edna, I did not know you were here. I hope you enjoyed Atlanta. What I do? I went to the Breezy concert this weekend. I'm going to do a post about it. I was going to do it tonight, but I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow. We went to Sunday night show. It was an amazing show. I went with my daughter. I actually wrote an article about it that is in Lennox and Parker. If you guys visit lennoxandparker.com, you'll see the article. I definitely think that Chris Brown's story is inspirational if you look at it, right? We all make mistakes. We all have flaws, but I think if you stay rooted in your purpose, that you can overcome that, right? And I'm just speaking about him being able to overcome being outcast in the music industry. He's definitely been able to overcome that with his talent, and it's undeniable. Like, you cannot deny that he's the greatest artist of this time. Like, that man sang and danced for 3 hours. I was tired. I was ready to go home. He went on the stage promptly at 8, which as a fan, I appreciate. He was still singing and dancing well past 11 o'clock. I was tired, Londa. I was tired. I was happy. My daughter was like, my daughter and I have always, every year we go see Chris Brown together. That's our mother-daughter thing. I took her when she was 12 for the first time. She was big Chris Brown fan. He opened for Neo. He wasn't a huge star at that time. He was just starting out. I think he was like, she was 12, so he's 36. So he was a lot older than she was young. He was young, right? So I think she was 11 or 12. But over the years, he's just, as an artist. But I will say this: I saw him perform back then at Chastain Park here in Atlanta. He opened for Neo, and it was clear that he was a superstar. Just, you could see it, stage presence. He was like like with these long legs and just a real like a Labrador puppy, like all over the stage, just all over the stage. But he had this presence on stage that Neo didn't have. Like, he was open, and presence he had, no one else had, right? He was able to command the presence. It was special. So that's been our mother-daughter thing. My daughter, I think, turned back into a 12-year-old at the show. We had amazing seats. We had a great time. And it was a great show. So I'll definitely talk to you guys about that. We stayed to the very end too long. And it was funny because he thanked people that were over 36. And I was like, because he's 36 and he knows he's not the average 36-year-old. He was all over that stage. He was flying across it was a lot. You cannot deny that man. You cannot deny that man. You may not like him, you may call yourself a fan, but you cannot say that he's not the greatest. But it was a wonderful time. On Saturday, Lennox and Parker, we did a photo shoot for the upcoming Soul Symphony polo weekend. If you guys are in Atlanta, I have a special discount. You can go to my Instagram page in my bio and you can purchase tickets. It's going to be an amazing weekend. There's polo, which you guys know I'm a horse lover. So there's polo happening on Sunday. On Saturday, though, there's a soul symphony orchestra and fashion show. It's going to be over the top and just amazing. I will be there. Also, I just learned that Martell and Arian will be there again. That's where I saw them for the first time out. They will be there again. I'm assuming that the Fletchers may attend as well. So just FYI, if you guys want tickets, make sure you go to the link in my bio. If you're not on Instagram, you can email me or DM me and I can send you the link. You can definitely get tickets and come out and enjoy. It's a beautiful weekend of Black excellence. Or as Miguel said, excellence that happens to be Black. I love it every year. I will be at the Soul Symphony, which is black tie. Females have to wear black gowns. The gentlemen have to wear white dinner jackets. So, you know, things that I love, the fancy things that I love. And then on Sunday, we will do the polo with the hats and all that good stuff. So anyway, yes, just wanted to let you guys know that Mo and I will be here tomorrow night for Dating Diaries. And I have some interesting we have an interesting topic, so make sure that you guys are here for that. Make sure that you like this on your way out. And like I said, you can go to lennoxandparker.com. You can see my piece on the Chris Brown concert. I kind of gave my take on the entire thing. And you could also go to my Instagram if you want your discounted ticket. We'll talk about all that this weekend. So tune in for tomorrow night. Mo and I will be doing Dating Diaries. And then, of course, we'll get into Ready to Love and Love Marriage Huntsville on Friday. I actually posted a short for this channel. You guys go back and watch. Posted right before we got on tonight with Cam and Rose from Ready to Love. So let me know what you think about that. And we'll see you guys here tomorrow at 8 p.m. All right. I love you guys for watching. Have a great night. And I'll see you tomorrow.